Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into the life and legacy of one of history's most famous explorers, Christopher Columbus. Now, when you think about it, Columbus didn't just discover a new landmass. He bridged two worlds separated by a vast ocean, changing the course of human history. From his groundbreaking voyages to the controversies that surround his name, we'll explore it all. Let's get started. Picture this, it's 1492. The world is on the brink of a monumental change. The world is a very different place. The maps are incomplete and the oceans are vast and mysterious. Most people believed the earth was flat, a perilous edge, waiting for the unwary sailor. But Columbus, he dared to dream differently. He saw beyond the horizon, envisioning a world where the earth was round. He envisioned a shorter route to the east by sailing west, a bold idea that defied conventional wisdom. Now, that took some serious guts. Imagine the courage it took to challenge the known world. Armed with his convictions, he convinced King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain to finance his expedition. It was no small feat. Think about the sheer determination it took to convince royalty to fund such an audacious, some might even say crazy adventure. He had to be persuasive, passionate, and unwavering in his belief. And so with 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, Columbus set sail. Columbus and his crew embarked on a journey into the unknown. They left behind the familiar and ventured into uncharted waters. Weeks turned into months, the vastness of the Atlantic stretching before them. The endless horizon was both a promise and a threat. Can you imagine the courage, the fear, the anticipation they must have felt? Every day was a test of their resolve. And then on October 12, 1492, land. The sight of land was a beacon of hope. They made landfall in the Bahamas, marking the first recorded transatlantic crossing from Europe to the Americas. This moment changed the course of history forever. Now here's the thing. The story of the Americas' discovery is one of the most fascinating chapters in human history. Columbus set out to find a western sea route to the East Indies, to the riches of spices and gold. His journey was filled with uncertainty and peril, navigating uncharted waters with hopes of finding a shorter path to the wealth of Asia. He landed in the Caribbean, believing he had reached his destination. Little did he know he was far from the East Indies. But what he had actually stumbled upon was something far grander, far more impactful, a new world. This discovery would change the course of history forever. This wasn't Europe, this wasn't Asia. It was an entirely new continent, teeming with untapped potential and unknown civilizations. This was something entirely different. The landscapes were unlike anything the Europeans had ever seen, and the people they encountered had their own rich cultures and histories. His voyages, while driven by the pursuit of the familiar, opened the eyes of Europeans to the existence of the American continents. It was a revelation that would spark an era of exploration and conquest. Imagine the astonishment, the curiosity, the sheer wonder that must have gripped the people of that time. The world as they knew it was expanding, and with it, their understanding of what was possible. This wasn't just about new lands, it was about expanding the very understanding of the world they lived in. The discovery of the Americas marked the beginning of a new era, one of exploration, discovery, and profound change. Think of the Columbian Exchange as a cosmic collision of life. Columbus's voyages weren't just about ships and sailors. They were about the exchange of life itself. Plants, animals, diseases, and technologies began to flow between the old world and the new world. From Europe to the Americas came horses, wheat, and unfortunately diseases like smallpox, which would have devastating consequences for indigenous populations. In return, the Americas gifted the world tomatoes, potatoes, and corn, forever changing the culinary landscape of the planet. This exchange, while not without its downsides, was a biological Big Bang, reshaping the ecology and the very fabric of life on 2 continents. Footprints in the sand establishing the first colonies. Columbus wasn't just an explorer, he was a builder, a founder. He established permanent colonies in the Americas, forever altering the human geography of the region. Hispaniola, comprising modern-day Haiti and the Dominican Republic, became the first European settlement in this new world. Imagine the challenges, the triumphs, the sheer effort it took to establish a foothold in a completely foreign land. These colonies, while born out of exploration, would become the seeds of European influence and, sadly, exploitation in the Americas. Redrawing the map, expanding geographical knowledge. Before Columbus, the map of the world was like a puzzle with missing pieces. His explorations filled in those blanks, revealing the true extent of the Earth's landmasses. He charted coastlines, mapped islands, and in doing so, expanded European geographical knowledge exponentially. Imagine the thrill of seeing new lands for the first time, of charting unknown territories. These voyages weren't just about discovery. They were about pushing the boundaries of human understanding, about redrawing the map of the world as they knew it. A spark of inspiration igniting the age of discovery. Columbus's voyages were like a spark that ignited a firestorm of exploration. His daring journey across the Atlantic inspired other explorers, adventurers, and dreamers to set sail into the unknown. Think of Ferdinand Magellan, Vasco da Gama, and Amerigo Vespucci, all driven by the spirit of discovery that Columbus embodied. These explorers following in his wake would further unravel the mysteries of the globe, charting new sea routes, encountering new cultures, and forever changing the course of history. Bridging continents, opening new trade routes. Columbus didn't just discover a new world, he opened a doorway to a new era of global trade. His expeditions established trade routes between Europe and the Americas, forever linking the two continents. Imagine the ships laden with goods, spices, and treasures, crossing the Atlantic, connecting distant cultures through commerce. This exchange of goods and resources had a profound impact on both hemispheres, fueling economies, shaping societies, and forever altering the course of global trade. A clash of cultures, the complexities of exchange. Columbus's voyages weren't just about the exchange of goods and resources. They were about the meeting of different worlds, different cultures, different ways of life. The encounter between Europeans and indigenous peoples was a complex and often tragic one. While there were instances of cultural exchange and cooperation, the arrival of Europeans also brought about conflict, disease, and the displacement of indigenous populations. It's a reminder that exploration, while driven by curiosity and ambition, often came at a cost. The Uncharted Horizon, Later Voyages, 1493 to 1502. Columbus's thirst for exploration didn't end with his first voyage. He embarked on 3 more expeditions to the Americas, each time venturing further into the unknown. He explored the Caribbean islands, charted the coast of South America, and even established a short-lived colony in Panama. Imagine the relentless curiosity, the drive to push the boundaries of the known world that fueled these later voyages. Columbus, even after achieving what many considered impossible, continued to seek new horizons, new discoveries, new adventures. A legacy etched in time, celebrating achievements, confronting controversies. Columbus's legacy is a complex tapestry woven from threads of exploration, ambition, triumph, and tragedy. His voyages across the Atlantic Ocean marked the beginning of a new era in world history, forever changing the course of civilizations. He's celebrated as a visionary explorer who dared to challenge the limits of the known world, navigating uncharted waters with a bold spirit and an unyielding determination, who opened the Americas to European exploration and colonization, paving the way for the exchange of cultures, ideas, and goods between the old and new worlds. But his legacy is also intertwined with the darker aspects of history, sparking debates and protests that continue to this day. With the exploitation and decimation of indigenous populations whose lives and cultures were irrevocably altered by the arrival of European settlers. With the transatlantic slave trade that followed in the wake of his discoveries, leading to centuries of suffering and injustice. It's a reminder that history is rarely black and white, often filled with shades of grey that reflect the complexities of human actions and their far-reaching impacts. that even the most celebrated figures can be flawed, their actions subject to scrutiny and reinterpretation over time, and that the consequences of their actions can reverberate for centuries, influencing generations and shaping the world we live in today. A universe of exploration reflecting on Columbus's impact. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more historical explorations. Let us know in the comments what you think about Christopher Columbus's legacy. Was he a hero or a villain? A visionary or an opportunist? The truth, as with most things in history, is complex and nuanced. What's important is that we engage with history critically, that we learn from the past, both its triumphs and its tragedies. See you next time.